All right, well, welcome everybody. My name is Dustin Woods. I am the managing editor of Canada Moto Guide, and I am pleased to be here with Caius Tenche from the Toronto Motorcycle Film Festival. We're going to have a little Q&A. We're going to talk about the festival and why we're here, and stay with us. So the Toronto Film Festival has been around for how long?
This will be our 4th year this year. We started in 2017.
Yeah, and so what was your inspiration for the film festival? How did it come to be?
Yeah, so the festival came about when I got into motorcycling about 7 years ago. And at the time, it was the middle of winter, just like now.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to start to learn more about bikes. I wanted to go ride them. I wanted to go test them. But I couldn't because it was snowing outside. So I started watching stuff online. And it started with YouTube videos. And it progressed from YouTube videos with guys riding around with GoPros strapped to their helmets to discovering little films, little documentaries, little stories. And those really connected with me. And so I wanted more of that. And eventually that morphed into me starting the film festival because I loved those stories and I loved the excitement and how they made me feel. And I wanted to share that with more people.
That's incredible. I think we've all probably had that experience where we're on YouTube very late at night with a tablet or a phone or whatever, and you go like deep down a rabbit hole. How did you go from watching videos online to starting a film festival? Because that's quite an undertaking.
It seems to be a habit of mine. I've started other things in the past because I wanted to experience the festival. I've been to other festivals in the past, regular movie festivals like TIFF. I love going to the opera. I love going to concerts. I love going to ballet, whatever. And I love how they make me feel. And all of that combined together, I don't know, there's just something special about that feeling, and I wanted to share that with more people. And so I was kind of hoping that there was already a festival in place in Toronto because I wanted to go to it and feel it. And since there wasn't, I thought, well, I'm just going to create it. And that's how I started. I mean, at the time, at the beginning, I only knew one person in the motorcycle community.
Oh, that's amazing.
Just one.
Yeah.
And then I just started reaching out to people. Dan Lim, who helped put Clutch Society together, is one of those people.
Yeah.
He was just a voice that was very prominent in the community. So I just reached out to Dan. Dan, you don't know me. I just got a motorcycle and I want to do this. And so, it just started from there.
Yeah. That's amazing to hear because you've created quite a community and there's such a loyal following. It's one of the things that I love about the Toronto motorcycle community, which is, part of how this has all been created. Dan is obviously a huge ambassador of how everybody within this community supports the other organization, whether it's like riding to Hamilton to go to Steeltown Garage or going to film festivals or like supporting Moto Social and that. So have you felt embraced by this community?
Absolutely. Everyone that knows about the film festival, I think it's fair to say that they all really enjoy it. And it's not just the movies. The movies are amazing because they come from across the world, all kinds of different stories, but it's about the camaraderie and about that shared experience that we all have on motorcycles. So I think everyone's embraced that and it's wonderful. One of the issues that I have is, though, that message hasn't gotten out there enough.
Yeah.
And so we need to tell more people about the festival and about these wonderful stories that are being produced every year across the globe.
It's become an entire weekend destination as well. So if you could tell people maybe what to expect from the weekend, like the kind of things that you have on the agenda, on the schedule. There was the launch party at the gallery last year, which is amazing. Some of these motorcycles were there. There was art on display. There's so much more than just motorcycle films.
Yeah. Not everything is finalized yet, so I can't talk to everything. But for sure, every year I want to try to up the game and do something different, a little bit more. It's going to continue to be on the side of incorporating art in some form, whether that's, visual art or musical art or whatever. It's going to continue to incorporate culture and try to bring in people not just from our community, but the general public in so that they can see how awesome our motorcycling community is. So there's going to be that. There's going to be parties, hopefully more than one, and there's going to be a weekend full of people seeing and experiencing great movies on the big screen.
Right, last year, I was fortunate enough to be a judge, and watching all of the films, there was this element of humanity that transpired through a lot of these films that was really touching, that they were about motorcycles, but they also weren't, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So we call this a motorcycle film festival because motorcycles are this common theme that run through all the movies, but the movies aren't about motorcycles. The
Yeah.
movies are about the human story and how the motorcycle has played some sort of an important part in either transforming somebody's lives or impacted somebody's lives in some capacity. So it's not about motorcycles, it's about the people.
Excellent. Well, we have some other questions here as well. This is one from Marissa from Toronto. How do you find the films that you decide to feature every year?
That is a very good question. It's a combination of two things. One, I'm constantly on the lookout for new works of art. So I happen to hear about somebody that's working on a movie or has got a Kickstarter campaign about a movie, or somebody else's friend of a friend is working on a movie, and then I reach out to them. And then the other part is that, especially now that we're going into our 4th year, the film festival is known internationally.
Yeah.
So filmmakers come to us automatically.
Excellent. So this question is interesting, from Yasmin in Markham. Have you ever thought of taking the film festival on the road? Now, in an element, you have, whereas you've been touring around to do outdoor screenings of the films. Is that, I guess, just motorcycle films in general, or leading up to the festival films that are going to be in the festival? Because I think you've done that before, right? Is it FAF Harley Davidson you were doing some films?
Yeah, we've done a couple of outdoor movie nights at FAF Harley Davidson. We've done an outdoor movie night for the past 2 years at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, which we'll be at again this year as well, as part of the Superbike Doubleheader Championship, that's pretty awesome. I would love to take the festival on the road, like across Canada. I've been asked about that before, and it's definitely something that I want to do, but truthfully, it's a little bit of work to try to, especially when I'm so far away from Vancouver, for example,
Yeah.
or Montreal, or Calgary. I'm not in that community, so I don't really know it. So the work involved in building the community there, finding the right venue, and setting it all up is a bit much for me to take on at this moment, but it's absolutely something that I want to do down the road for sure.
This is an interesting question as well about how do judges choose the films that will be screened, and how will they win in the festival? So I guess how do judges rank these, and how do they go about that process?
Yeah, so once we have our judging panel selected, the judges have access to the films online and in this like private sandbox, and they can go in there and start watching the movies at their own leisure, and they score the movies based on there's about 10 criteria, things from like cinematography to production value, writing, editing, directing, sound, and then so all of that gets tallied, and we have some number that suggests this movie scored the highest. That's where we start. Then usually the judges see the movies on the big screen. That's sometimes different. It's a different sort of experience than watching it at home. And so there's an opportunity to adjust those scores up or down. And then we have a meeting with the judges to confirm, according to the numbers, this movie showed that it should win this award. Are we all in agreement? Yes, no? And then that's how it comes about.
From my experience of being at home watching each film on the laptop and then seeing them all on the big screen was unbelievable. And having the sound of the review cinema and have people laughing at the same moments I was laughing and tearing up, certainly at some of the points of different films, was pretty incredible. It was a very unifying experience.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I'm hoping.
Well, mission accomplished.
Thanks.
What was your personal favorite film from last year's festival? That's Elena Aurora from Aurora is asking that question.
It's really hard to say. There's bits and pieces that I like about a lot of films. So here on this viewing station, we've got some of my favorite. I mean, we've got the movie Wayne, which was about Wayne Gardner, which I thought was amazing. So I am not a MotoGP follower, and sorry to say, I didn't even know who Wayne Gardner is. But 10 minutes into the film, I was completely sucked into it. It was wonderful. Then the movie by you, Blenio, Utah, about this like farmer or butcher from an 800 person small town in Switzerland who wanted to go set a land speed record. By the way, never rode a motorcycle before. That story was super touching,
Yeah.
and it was so simple and beautiful. I love that one.
Yeah.
This movie over here was about flat track racing, and yes, beautiful shots, but it's all about the people in that flat track racing community, and it was so beautifully done. Like it captured their passion for it. These were probably 3 of my favorite from last year. It's very hard to pick just one.
Awesome. And so what can you tell us about the festival this year? I know you can't tell us a lot, but is there anything, can we schedule the date in our calendars? Can we direct the website or the social platforms that we can go to?
Yeah, we're back at the Review Cinema again this year, which is a wonderful theater on Roncesvalles, so near High Park, and we'll be there October 1st through the 3rd. And so I'm looking forward to sharing some more great stories. We've already got about a dozen movies that came in, and there's some gems already there.
Nice. Alrighty. And where can people find more information?
Thank you. You can find us online at torontomotofilmfest.com and also on Instagram, Facebook. Just look up Toronto Motorcycle Film Festival and you'll find us there.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for chatting. I appreciate Caius. And everyone should go visit and check out the film festival. It is absolutely not to be missed. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.